John Cena versus Cody Rhodes is one of my favorite feuds in ages because it quite literally, not quite literally, but it is a bit like watching John Cena lose his mind and then Cody Rhodes loses his mind. They shout at each other and I'm the viewer. I'm like, man, this is some good stuff. That's right, my friends. We just had the episode of Raw that I think most people are pretty happy with. I mean, I'm a bit of an outlier now, which sounds crazy. I enjoyed the past 2 weeks of the John Cena-Cody Rhodes confrontations. I'm not saying they didn't feel similar, but we talked about this, I believe. I got such a kick out of seeing John Cena be the bad guy. I was like, man, he could come out here and read the phone book, and as long as he put some scowl in his name when he got to, like, Rob Jones, because he hates Rob Jones now, I would have done a backflip, and I was doing backflips, obviously not. I can't do a backflip. I would probably kill myself. And that's why I think they did change tack today. I don't think they've all of a sudden gone, oh, man, this you fans thing isn't working. I think they've just gone, we are going to do 3 in a row, and we're going to evolve it every single time. Now, anytime I'm not even trying to defend WWE, but anytime I give an opinion that sounds that way, people go, oh my gosh, I'm so biased. WWE ain't stupid, and I'm pretty sure, and listen, I'm not saying they didn't hear the feedback from some people, but there is no way that if these are the people writing the show that didn't go, right, we're going to do 3 weeks of this, because I don't think we're going to see John Cena again before WrestleMania, or maybe one more appearance, but it's not going to be week to week. So surely anyone, even with half a brain, would have sat down and gone, right, first week is to turn on the fans. Second week, we're going to time and talk about the 17th world title reign and still get at the fans. And the third week, Cody's going to be like, no, you must talk to me now, and John Cena's going to unleash, because, as you would have heard, I understand it's a London crowd, but I bet this would have happened in most places. Sometimes John Cena cut lines or dropped lines that were so good, the fans cheered. Now, WWE are worried about this, or so goes the rumor. I don't really know why. Slap your head, here's why. What a stupid person I am. Because who cares? I think I've said this before too. Even if Cody Rhodes walks into WrestleMania 41 and everyone's booing him and everyone hates him, it's like, oh, Cody Rhodes, you're a terrible person. Cody Rhodes is a super babyface, or a super good professional wrestler, I should say. He knows how to work that. Eventually the tide will turn, because WrestleMania crowds do, summon a lot of the hardcore fans that are more likely to do this, as opposed to the more, I hate the term casual and hardcores, but you do get different groups, and eventually it would go back to Cody anyway. It would just make WrestleMania 41 more fun. So I don't think there's any issue with waiting until week 3 before you let them go at each other like this. But what did Cody do? Even though at one point people were like, John Cena, you're so good at this, Cody was then equally as good, and the fans then went back to him too. I am pretty sure we'll get to WrestleMania, and you'll get the Let's Go Cena Chuck chance, but you'll also probably get Let's Go Cena Cody chance, and probably some Cody Sucks chance too, because people just want to have fun, right? Deep down, we're all Cyndi Lauper, and I think that's a good thing. Now, I don't want to sit down here and go through every single thing they did say to each other. I would implore you to go and watch it, and also check out, actually, if you go watch What Culture Wrestling and my ups and downs, which is my review/recap show, we kind of do get into a little bit more there. I don't mind them referencing AEW, because I think they're between a rock and a hard place. If they didn't do it, people are like, oh man, they're so babies, they didn't mention it. Like the Stephanie Place's CM Punk interview went up last week. Apparently from like 2021, whenever the flub he went to AEW till when he came back, he didn't do anything. Just sat around playing Nintendo. I understand it. I'm not going to get mad about it. I don't think it's a good thing or a bad thing. That's just what they've decided to do. Taking a tangent here, but it's like this AEW thing was, oh my, they should let Lex Luger be inducted by Sting. That's up to Steve Borden. That's up to Tony Khan. I'm not going to waste my time worrying about that. I got real problems, man. Honestly, it'd be too much for me. It'd be too much for my brain. I don't want to talk about that. Let's keep on talking. But I did like it. I thought the billionaire line was very, very clever. And of course, if you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't have to worry about it. The Vince McMahon stuff is difficult. Again, let's not get bogged down on that here, but I mean, it's good from a reactionary point of view, because even I was like, I can't believe he said that. But yes, there's certainly controversy to it that maybe you do want to stay away from. My favorite stuff is when they started talking about how they used to ride together, how John Cena feels like Cody Rhodes has stolen all of his stuff, and that he's not authentic and he's not real, and that everything he's kind of manufactured is him just trying to live up to be John Cena. He's not able to do it, and that's why he had to leave in 2016, because what did he say? I could make terrible stuff great, but your best stuff wasn't even worth wiping my ass with. I mean, I wouldn't even know how you do that after you went to the bathroom, but hey man, John Cena, he's a special kind of a guy. Also very much like talking about the whole buried stuff, because again, I'm a long-term wrestling fan, and if you did get into the business at a certain time, that's all you heard. That's all message board and dirt sheets, as they're called, were. Well, did John Cena bury this guy? Did John Cena bury that guy? I don't know whether it's a new interview or not. You have to forgive me. I didn't see who it was with. But Heath Slater was talking about the Nexus angle on, again, whichever people he was talking to, be it within the last 5 years, we can say. And He told the story of how the Nexus were going to win, then something happened, and apparently John Cena went to bat for himself. Who knows the truth, right? We weren't there. But that's where all of these stories come from. So for John Cena to stand here and be like, no, man, I bury mediocrity. If you're not good enough to stand toe-to-toe with me, why would I even give you the time of day? This is the John Cena I've wanted for years. I mean, the only thing I would say I disliked about it is that we didn't get this John Cena 10 years ago because, my gosh, it would have been even more crazy than we're getting now. But it's working. It's ticking the boxes. Cody Rhodes is genuinely a beloved babyface that people do want to cheer. So the fact he had some gusto in his voice too was great. I love the line, you're still my hero, but you're also a piece of shib. It's just nice and simple, man. It just cuts right to the point. And, of course, how does it end? John Cena down after the crossroads. Cody Rhodes standing tall. And Cody Rhodes got the last word too because he said, listen, John, you can say whatever the hell you want, but the one chant I've never heard in all my years of professional wrestling is you can't wrestle, and my gosh, you used to get that all the time. This is why I love John Cena as well. He understands his role. I'm sure there is some ego there. I don't think you can get to his kind of position in wrestling without having that side of you, but he knew how to respond to it, and it was as if someone had said the worst thing ever. Like it's that chant that will pierce right through his heart, and he knows that some crowds will now start chanting that at him, but he can react to it and just get this character over better. And thank goodness, this is one criticism I did have. Cody Rhodes was like, well, you can say all of this, John, but again, who sold out to The Rock? It's not me. It was you son of a ditch. And you have to presume that's coming as well. The Rock surely has to be on Raw eventually, at least at WrestleMania. If we get to WrestleMania and The Rock's not featured at all, then yes, we need to sit down and have a conversation. But I believe, because I'm a positive Pete, but yeah, it made Cody Rhodes look great. It has convinced me that Cody Rhodes is losing at WrestleMania, but I think that's the right thing to do. I don't think you can turn John Cena heel and not have him win the championship. And he should go home for a while. Again, we did a whole video on this. As he said, he should take that real world championship home because he's the real world champion, and Cody should go and buy one from Fanatics. Very funny line. Made me laugh. Imagine he did. He went and got one of those foam titles, which weigh nothing. Then you actually hold the real one day. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But I thought it was great. It's got me super into this match, which was the theme of Raw. We have our two men's world title matches. And this episode of Raw was, oh man, you may be losing interest. Well, we're going to drag you back in. So bravo to both of them. I think they are top-tier talent. I think probably another 5 years or however long it takes, Cody Rhodes will be seen in the same light as a John Cena. That's how important and how great I think he is. Because again, if you try to tell me that John Cena's not one of the GOATs, it'd be like, you're just ignoring everything that's in front of your face. It was a great segment. And I think it went from entrances to the first match like 28 minutes or something like that. And some people have said that's too long. I do think you are at risk of it being too long, but at no point did I feel like I want this to end now. No, I wanted them to keep talking, and I haven't even gone into half of the things that they did say, but it was the delivery and their facial expressions and the way they made sure they gave each other enough. So it wasn't just John Cena railroading Cody Rhodes. It wasn't just Cody Rhodes railroading John Cena. I like the fact that Cody started it too and basically negated all of these facts. Like, yeah, fine, I get it, my tattoo, my lisp, the fact I left in 2016, my stupid tattoo. But then John Cena still found a way to insult all of those things other than the lisp and make just incredible points, especially about the neck tattoo, right? It's not about the neck tattoo, it's the locations, the fact you did it in the first place. Oh man, this is nuanced and deep stuff. So, no notes, absolutely brilliant, 10 out of 10. I don't actually think they could have done it better than this, now that I think about it, which is the same for the Gunther versus Jey Uso stuff. I tell you, or the Jimmy Uso stuff. I tell you why I liked it so much. You can go find it. I bet they deleted their tweets. Some people were like, well, that wasn't very good, because WWE didn't pull the trigger until after the ad break, and that is the reactionary culture we live in. Now listen, I benefit from that too, so I'm not going to get too uppity about it, but it did make me chuckle. I was like, oh, you should have waited 3 minutes, shouldn't you? But you had to get that had to get that engagement. But essentially, Jimmy versus Gunther. Gunther murders this man. He carries on the beating. Jey Uso comes down. Gunther goes nuts after the ad break, destroys some of the useless security wrestling guards. And then, yeah, he handcuffs Jey Uso to the ropes when we can use the word murdered. I think that's fair. We can't say literally, although no one has confirmed it. But he just beat the holy hell out of Jimmy Uso. He had blood, which you don't often see on Raw. And of course, he locks in that sleeper. It was the visual at the end. It was the moment, as WWE would say, of Jey Uso not being able to save his brother, because again, he has been handcuffed. It was a zip tie, but you know what I'm talking about. As Gunther essentially is like, I'm going to choke your sibling out, and there's nothing you can do about it, you stupid yeet fool. And that's the heat that you do need. Now, I hadn't lost my interest in it because I'm so into Jey Uso, but it would be ridiculous of me to say that other people haven't. You know, some people feel like, oh, it doesn't really feel like a WrestleMania main event. It's not going to be a WrestleMania main event. We will do another video about that as soon as I can get around to it. But now I do think, and it's a heavy heat angle is the term they use in professional wrestling, and that's exactly what it was. It ticked all the boxes. It made you hate Gunther, or of course a side of you will love him, because we all have that screwed up part of our brain. But it also means that Jey Uso can be serious now, which is what we needed. I actually enjoyed the fact that we brought the mistake, the dive that he screwed up a couple of weeks ago into the story. Use these things, because now we've kind of got the roller coaster effect, all the ups and downs. Shout out to my man Ludwig Kaiser, going to have that feud soon. Where Jey Uso did hit rock bottom, but it was Jimmy Uso who built him up, and now it's Jimmy Uso's sacrifice that can let the Jey Uso-Gunther feud reach new levels. I mean, we've seen this 1,000 times before, but execution is everything. Gunther is just fabulous at what he does. And I just think Jey Uso is such an over babyface. It goes back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago. As long as you sympathize with him and he elicits the right emotion, absolutely fabu. So I thought it was tremendous. When I was watching it, it felt brutal, and it felt uncomfortable, and it felt disgusting, especially when Gunther was rubbing the blood all over himself. I've done that, by the way. Somebody once meant to smack me in the back with a chair. They missed and got my head. Still got a scar on the back of my head because I had to glue it shut. This was quite early in my wrestling career too. What did I do? I'm bleeding. So all wrestlers are nuts. Don't let them tell you otherwise. But yes, excellent stuff. And now I think to me it's kind of been laid out. John Cena should win and Jey Uso should win. That's good for balance too. You've got a babyface champion and you've got a heel champion. And I mean, you have to do something with Jimmy Uso when he is able to come back. Will he be at WrestleMania? Probably. You probably won't see Jimmy Uso until WrestleMania where he makes the save. But that's fine. Jey Uso does not need to win clean, right? As long as you get the story right and you get the beats right and you just make Gunther come across as the most dastardly person ever, you can get away with that kind of a stuff. And people will be pleased to see the Usos back. So really, really good. I really, really liked it. I thought it was great. I suppose the other big story was Bianca Belair, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley. Now, you should probably get your what a thing for me to say. You should probably get your opinions for this from somebody else. I loved it. And the reason I loved it is because it's so silly. Now, let's talk with our serious caps on. Do I have a cap that I can put on? No, I don't. So just pretend I'm wearing one on my stupid bald head. Is it too convoluted? Yes. Is there too many obstacles in the way? Yes. Was it, to use the proper term, overbooked? Absolutely. You did not need to go round these many houses in order to set up a triple threat match. That doesn't mean it wasn't entertaining, right? These two things can be true. You can come up with the most ridiculous shenanigan-based wrestling, and I'll be sitting there going, this is wonderful. Why did Adam Pearce make Bianca Belair the guest referee when he knew what was going to happen? Io Sky and Rhea Ripley are great together, which is why I'm perfectly happy we are doing this. I think that triple threat match with the right amount of time could steal the show at WrestleMania 41. I truly mean that. And I wouldn't necessarily say I know who's walking away with the belt, so it's got Jeopardy too. So you tick that box. But eventually, Rhea Ripley goes to kick Io. She kicks Bianca instead, who sounds like she's been shot, which was also brilliant. And then after some back and forth, riptide, she gets like a 32 count. There's no referee. Bianca Belair gets back in the ring. And then they all start to fight, and Bianca Belair gets it from both of them, somewhat on purpose, somewhat by accident. She calls for the double DQ. Rhea Ripley loses her mind. Avalanche riptides and all kind of nonsense, and she holds the belt up. And now obviously she'll magically be put into the three-way, even though it makes no sense. That should never happen. But again, sometimes the journey is not as important as the destination, or usually it's the other way around. And they're just such top-tier talents, and the match was great, and Bianca is great, and just the way they did the best of what they were given. And I think sometimes you do have to give credit to that. I mean, John Cena said the same thing. I made the best of everything, and that's where I am now. And that's what I think they have done. So, listen, there was certainly silliness to it. And if you were rolling your eyes about why Adam Pearce would book this, I get it. And it also kind of ties into the weird WrestleMania build that we have had. There are some storylines where you're just like, it's good, I'm interested, but, there's sort of gaps and holes, and it's a little bit strange, and it kind of feels like we're hitting fast forward, and we still have like 2-3 weeks before we get to WrestleMania, which is absolutely astonishing, but I'm involved in this one. I am. So ultimately, they have done their job, although, yes, there are negative points you can absolutely point out. I mean, it's the same with the New Day versus the War Raiders. That's basically been built on the New Day going, we'd like a title match, and the War Raiders going, we've got nothing else to do, and I'm happy it's happening, and I want the New Day to win, because I think they're brilliant, but I do think it's fair to say we did not capitalize on that heel turn enough, which is a shame. I don't mind the new Catch Republic coming back and losing, because again, it was for the greater good. I think Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate will probably exist within singles feuds, whatever you want to say, after a little while. But lovely to see Tyler Bate back. Being out since July with a torn pec, that's really hard. And to get to do it in London, that's warm and fuzzy and the tum-tum stuff, so I like that. It does feel to me like it's going to be Lyra and Bayley taking on Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the tag team titles, because we're doing the IC match next week between Bales and Lyra, but Liv and Raquel just want to talk about them. So that gives me the fear. I do not like the idea of the IC Women's Championship not being defended after they go after the tag team titles. It's not bad, because Liv and Raquel have done so good with the tag belts that you do need a team like those two. But you also had Maxine saying, I'd like to be a tag team with Natalya. I'm holding fire on that one. Because again, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez did such a good job, as did Naomi and Bianca Belair. And now it's kind of back in the ether. So again, it gives me the fear in my Tootsie Toes. We'll wait and see. I do like the Judgment Day stuff. Like just seeing Finn Balor win a match, I was like, am I still alive? alive? Did I die? I shouldn't bang the desk. What an idiot. But he teamed with Dominic Mysterio to take on Penta and Bron Breakker. Obviously, Bron Breakker, because of the Judgment Day, spears Penta. That allows the Judgment Day to win. Penta and Bron fall out backstage. That's your four-way for the IC title. Maybe a fifth person goes in there too, but I doubt it. And Dominic and Finn will fall out. And you could have Penta win the IC belt, or Bron could walk away with it. But it's just good business, as they say. I liked it a lot. Although, I mentioned this on a few videos, so we'll just run through it a little bit. I think you could have had the Wolf Dogs on Raw for a little bit. I know what you're talking about, Simon. That was months ago. Bron Breakker's just so good in a tag team. And I don't think we should let Baron Corbin go. I think it was a mistake, although he's doing great. He's doing really good stuff as Bishop Diet right now. It's just what I thought. And when I think things, I'm going to put them out there. And that was essentially it. Like, there was nothing else sort of super duper major that came from Raw. And actually, because that first segment was so long, the rest of the show did kind of fly by. And there's pluses and minuses to that. Again, we didn't get to the wrestling for so long. Some people are like, man, that is a little bit weird. But look, the tag team titles we finally have a direction for. No idea what we're doing with the women's IC, but the men's IC one seems pretty damn good. And of course, the Jay versus Gunther back and forth, whatever you want to call it. Great stuff. Sometimes you can go back to the old school angles and just reinvent them for a new audience. And most things you do see in wrestling, when you have watched it for a couple of decades, like, oh man, we're doing that again. But of course, there's a whole brand new audience. It's like, man, I'm so excited. And you know, I did the live ups and downs from Glasgow a week ago, whenever the flub it was. I got no brain anymore. And we were interviewing people and talking to fans. We found that wonderful, nice little girl who loved Jey Uso. She was so happy because she just wanted to yeet. And now I'm like, well, how is she going to feel today? Maybe she's devastated. Maybe she's now going to love him even more, right? I like to think about all fans. I like to think how that affects everyone. So we shall wait and see. But it was an easy to watch episode of Raw, was the way that I put it. And again, because we are on the road to WrestleMania, your ultimate goal right now is to get people excited. And I thought this did a way better job than other ones we have seen, especially that weird SmackDown show that came from the O2 that just felt so stretched out. It also brings an end to the European tour. Would I want to see them do it again from a selfish point of view? Yes. But I also think they do. It's kind of weird, right? Because you love the fans. I love the fans over here, or Europe, however you want to call it. I love how passionate they are. But sometimes they do stretch out segments a bit much. And I think WWE over-relied that on SmackDown just because it's 3 hours. Probably a different topic for a different day. This Raw was good. And if you only want to watch a few things, you watch the good stuff, you watch the John Cena stuff, I would sneak in the main event of Bianca Belair and co. I thought they did a good job, and they made me laugh, and they entertained me, and that's all I could ask. Now, of course, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Go in that description and click the video on the screen, the notification bell. If you're into fitness and going to the gym, please do go to GorillaMind.com/Simon. You just Simon, get 10% off. These are the supplements I use, otherwise I wouldn't sell them to you. They've got some deals on right now, so check them out using that code. Otherwise, it is patreon.com/Simon316, Simon316 on all social media. Again, ProWrestlingTees.com/Simon Miller and SimonMiller.BigCartel.com for dumb merch, although this is an American exclusive, because again, I host my European store here. I can only get certain designs. It's a long, boring story. I am doing cheap cameos at the moment as Simon Miller, like really cheap. I can't remember now, but there's a sale going on because it's April Fool's. So if you want a dumb message there, I can do that for you as well. Simon J. Miller on TikTok, but more importantly, keep enjoying wrestling, my friends. Remember, it's there to entertain you, like that awful Robbie Williams track, which I do not like, and I will see you soon.